The day Lee Okason was snatched off the street is etched into her memory forever. Terrified, she was just 15 years old when she was grabbed as she walked home from work and taken to work in a military brothel. For 3 years she was held as a sex slave for the Japanese army, where she was expected to comfort up to 50 troops per day. Lee is one of only a few dozen surviving comfort women, the name given to up to 200,000 women and girls, mostly from the Korean peninsula, who were forced to work in Japanese frontline brothels between 1932 and 1945. Now 87 and frail, Lee is locked in a £16 million legal battle with the Japanese government as she seeks compensation for the sexual abuse she experienced as a comfort girl at the hands of the Japanese Imperial Army during the Second World War. Together with 11 other surviving comfort girls who are seeking £1.3 million each in a Californian court, Lee wants an acknowledgement of her suffering at the hands of the Japanese troops who sexually abused her. She also wants an apology from Japanese government for her trauma. Reliving the day she was taken, Lee said, "They grabbed my arms so I couldn't move, and the next day they forcibly fastened me into a car." She was taken to Yangon, a city located in Japanese-occupied China near the border with North Korea. There, Lee said she was held with 5 other women and girls, who were subjected to daily rapes and abuse. "I was taken away at 15, but even 14-year-olds were told to receive 40 or 50 soldiers every day," Lee said, her back hunched and eyes fixed on the distance. "It was so painful and difficult to live that many people committed suicide by drowning or going to the mountains to hang themselves." Lee's tragic tale began when she was 7 and her parents told her that they didn't have enough money to pay for her education. In an apparent act of kindness, a woman who knew the family offered to foster Lee and pay for her schooling, which Lee's parents agreed to. But, instead, Lee was forced to work at the woman's restaurant. Later, she was sold off to work in a pub, and it was there that she fell victim to the kidnappers. As well as the sexual abuse, Lee describes frequent beatings she received at her comfort station, a euphemism for sex chamber, one of many found in Asia at the height of the Japanese Empire. Lee recalled that the higher the rank of soldier, the crueler they were. Lee, who now lives about an hour from Seoul in a special center for sex slave survivors called the House of Sharing, said the conditions of her captivity had a devastating and permanent impact on her health. As well as damage to her senses, she was left unable to bear children. Repeated injections of the syphilis treatment compound 606 left many of the women unable to have children. Lee is one of a handful of survivors of the Japanese Empire's system of forced prostitution of Korean and other mostly Asian women.